As a significant American force package appears to be coming together to focus on Iran, I think that it's worth considering what the US is trying to achieve. It is possible to imagine, a lot of people probably imagine, that that force package is designed to bring down the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and replace it with Iranian Army generals who will be able to create a military dictatorship of sorts, perhaps an interim leadership before creating a newer, more democratic Iran. And it's a lovely idea. Bear in mind, though, that it's not easy to use kinetic effects to change a government. What we are seeing is potentially a reinforcement of the Iranian regime's founding myth that Iran is capable of withstanding hard pounding. During the Iran-Iraq War, after the Iranian Revolution, the Iraqis subjected Iranian cities to theater ballistic missile bombardments with high explosive warheads. And the Iranians, as a people, are very proud that they withstood that attack and that their new Islamic Republic stood up and thrived in the years of that war. The Iranian founding myth of withstanding the hard pounding of the War of the Cities is also connected to the Iranian idea of martyrdom. Not the general Shia Muslim idea of martyrdom, although that's part of it. But a lot of Iranian young people were marched onto Iraqi machine guns, armed only with a little key to heaven. At the beginning, they had metal keys to heaven. Then the Iranian government ran out of metal keys to heaven and started to make less expensive plastic keys to heaven. So pounding the Iranians is not going to lead directly in linear fashion to a change of Iranian government. So what is that force package? All of those aircraft staging through the UK and Europe towards the Middle East, the replacement of the carrier battle group sent out of theater to the Caribbean with the Abraham Lincoln battle group moving into theater, what is that going to achieve? Well, it is my view that we are seeing the beginning of a negotiating process, that the Iranian government is being presented with the potential of a lot of kinetic effect, of IRGC facilities, both military and economic, being destroyed. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is not just a bulwark of the Iranian regime, it is also a huge economic power in Iran. And once that picture is clear to the Iranians, they can be offered a way to stay in power and to avoid that kind of destruction. There is a simulated rift in Washington between the people who are actually doing the work in Iran, the people who are negotiating in the region on behalf of Donald Trump, that is, Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, the people who are going to have to make whatever deal is forthcoming. And a sort of simulated hawkish neocon faction in Washington. Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State and National Security Advisor, and Pete Hegseth, the wild man of the War Department. And that good cop, bad cop, I think, is designed to enable the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and Ali Khamenei to negotiate their way out of their current predicament, to enable them to survive and enable them to stay in power for the foreseeable future. Because the IRGC and the Iranian theocracy are not going to be negotiated out of power. Their power, their rule of Iran is for them a religious duty, and they're not going to step away from that. So while we can envision a military coup in Iran, we can envision street protests resulting in a voluntary departure of Ali Khamenei, all of those can be imagined. That doesn't make them realistic. I think that the United States government is working towards a slightly adjusted Iran, to an Iranian regime that remains in power, but is more compliant with its neighbors. Just as the Obama administration used their sanctions regime, destroying the Iranian currency, to impose the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal, I think what we're seeing here is the Trump regime, the Trump administration, pushing on the regime in Iran a similar set of marginal concessions that will enable the Iranian government to stay in power and make them a bit easier to work with across the region and as a world player.